for this because me just starting off like this, not too hot anymore.
It's a work in progress. We're working on it.
Yeah, that's true. Baby steps.
I'm not even on the comments. Oh shoot, who's in?
I'm on the comments. Don't worry, no one's watching yet.
All right, slow and steady wins the race.
That's right.
Oh, Sean's in.
How did Sean get on? Okay, there's one person watching. We're good.
Winner.
Man, oh day. I'm ready to compete again. I've been off for a while, and I'm ready to roll.
Oh yeah, I've been. I got the itch. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Absolutely.
I gotta clean the
I don't know if my internet's slow.
Michael Fay, what's up?
I gotta reach back out to Michael Fay. I completely left him on red there for a second.
It's been busy.
We got some big things there. Moving on.
John
from Madison, Wisconsin.
Nice. Thanks for coming.
What's going on, John?
Big Jim.
All right. Well, we'll get things fired off here, man. Like we were talking about, we're getting ready to compete here. We're going to York County Barbecue Festival.
Yes.
It's been over a month since I've competed.
Yeah, it's been about a month for me since I've competed. Since interstate? That was the end of the month, right? So yeah, it's been about probably a month.
No, you did that one where you took ninth.
That was interstate. My bad. I'm talking Twin Valley.
Twin Valley.
Yeah,
3 weeks.
That was a good competition. I like that one.
Break it out, do SCA and KCBS both at the same time, and I'm ready to roll. New flavor profile with that Arcasippy combo.
And look, hey, guess what we got too? Well, check this out. We got a new Wi-Fi thermometer for the steaks too. FlameBoss.
Oh, snap.
Compliments of Dave. Super stoked to use that. I can't wait. Looking excited for that.
What's going on, Travis?
If you guys are looking for a wireless thermometer, check them out. Yeah. FlameBoss.com.
Yeah, let's get into that. We got to thank FlameBoss there for that goodie. Got to thank Barbecue Beast. Girl sending us to the Royal.
Our wonderful ladies to send us to the Royal. We're super stoked on that. Maybe we'll actually get to meet Dave in person at the American Royal. That'll be awesome as well.
Thank you, Barbecue Beast ladies, for helping us meet Dave.
Yes. That's the tour to meet Dave. That's what we're going to call it.
That's right. Also, shout out to Booster Barbecue. Like I said, I'm playing around with my steak combo, playing around with the Arcasippy combo and my flavor profiles. Head over to Booster Barbecue, get that Arcasippy combo. Get anything you really need for SCA. You can't get the Jim Hudgens there yet, but use the discount code QChat for 10% off your order from Booster Barbecue. And also shout out, like I said, to Big Jim Hudgens. I definitely had to incorporate that on my new steak stuff because that stuff's money.
It is.
It's money.
I put it on some hamburgers and gave it to my dad. He was like, "What? You don't even know buns? You don't need nothing with this." He goes, "Whatever this rub was." I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "That's Big Jim. It's good stuff."
Use it on vegetables. Use it on anything. Chicken. I love it on chicken. That's good stuff. And yeah, we got another sponsor. I don't have them pulled up here yet. Someone we're working on, but everyone knows and loves. We'll announce that here in the next episode. Get everything put together and official. We got another sponsor that we're very excited and honored to be a part of. Yes. And it's humbling to have people want to support us sitting here talking, and it's truly awesome, and we appreciate it all very much. So that being said,
oh, hold on. Did you see what Big Jim said? He says, "Watch for the big Jims and the big bottles coming soon." Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
What's going on, Greg? Ron got into
Look at Chris.
Come on, Chris. He's here for the Wild. I was about to say,
underdog of Wildwood.
Ron's running with Wildwood.
We're all pulling for you, Ron.
I tell you what, man. Since we can't be up there because your trailer's too big, I'm definitely pulling for him.
Yes, my underdog, Ron.
Absolutely. We'll also see him at York too.
Yes, he'll be there.
So, all right. Well, while we're at York, we're also going to be using some pretty killer products. We mentioned we'll do them with the SCA stuff, but what else are we going to be using there, Dave? What powers your Meyer Mixing Smokers?
What powers my Meyer Mixing Smokers?
FlameBoss.
Oh, jeez, come on. I already talked about it. Now you threw me for a loop. My bad.
Well, I'm trying to find a way to smoothly bring him into the show.
Sorry, guys, I smoothly messed that one up. But without further ado, let's bring in Dave from FlameBoss.
What's going on, Dave?
What's going on, fellas?
Sorry for that intro. We weren't on sync there.
Yeah. It's been a long week. We'll say that. It's only Tuesday. But now we wanted to bring Dave back on after we talked to him the following week. We just felt like, he had a whole lot more to say, and, not personally about Memphis in May, but his journey with FlameBoss and his barbecue team, which is Crooked Lake Barbecue, right?
Yeah, it was, yes. But that was part of a changeover that happened this year too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when I originally met you, it was Crooked Lake. So
you got it. Absolutely.
So I figured. But now, tell us a little about yourself.
So, my name's Dave Frosch, obviously, and I started cooking back in 2012, and then I went into competitions about 2013 with Crooked Lake Barbecue. The cool thing was that I actually started competing as a secondary mode because I had been cooking at the house and came out with a few sauces that I liked, and decided that I wanted to bring those to market because I got such good rapport from everybody about them. And then it's kind of did that whole thing and the working in a commissary and doing the sauces and rubs, and slowly got better in competition meat, and it was a crazy ride though, because it's done a bunch of 180s during the entire thing.
That's awesome.
At one point, I thought I was going to be like Ed Frogman, the hot dog king of Chicago. I was like, I'm going to be the rub and sauce king of Florida, and then I'm like, hey, how you doing there, Jim Elser and Rub Bagby and Matt Bauer or Matt? And, it was just it was pretty eye opening in that whole situation, and I lasted about 4 years. Then I had to make a decision whether I was going to go for that 100% or not, and decided made a hard decision not to, but still make it for all my friends in competition that still like to use it and stuff. And
that's awesome.
Was lucky enough in 2018 to throw my rub out at the National Barbecue Magazine's Rub of Honors, and got a national championship with my pork rub, which
awesome.
Was cool. So that was a neat little thing, and I'm sure at 2018 people were just chomping at the bits to know who that was, that Crooked Lake guy out of Orlando, because real well-known pork states. Right after that, you got Georgia and Texas and Kansas City and all these big barbecue states underneath Orlando, Florida. So it was that's
funny
experience.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's been a crazy ride, and then FlameBoss ended up picking us up about 5 years ago now, and 3 years after they started, and it was just an awesome ride. My partner Kenny at the time, Kenny Shiflett, who's now with Cooters and Smoke, got them to back us and give us a couple of controllers and see what we could do with them, and it was just lights out after that. We could actually literally lights out. We could actually get some sleep overnight, and
exactly.
You're well rested, making good decisions the next day, your scores go up. So
absolutely, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, so learned that you sleep, your scores go up for sure.
Yeah, when you go to a competition and get 7 hours of solid sleep, you're doing something.
That's exactly right. Because when I first started off, I had a stick burner, and you're feeding the wood the entire night, and I was borderline OCD, so I kind of get off on that kind of thing, just sitting there feeding the fire, making sure the temperature's perfect and everything. But then that next day, being a diabetic and not having any sleep, you're just wore out by the end of the competition. So it was pretty tough. So finding FlameBoss was definitely an awesome thing, and it's pretty awesome, as you guys know.
Oh yeah.
So you work for FlameBoss,
correct? So
I mean, they picked you up first as a sponsor, and then you kind of worked your way into the role that you are now.
Yep, I got really lucky. I knew after college and everything, and you always have that dream of what you want to do after that. And I was an office manager at the University of Central Florida, doing J1 and H1B visas for researchers coming into the country, and in no way, shape, or form was I satisfied with what I was doing. And
That
I
doesn't
was doing
sound
a lot
fun.
of good. Yeah, it was a lot of cool things because there were a lot of neat students and professors that I got to bring in that were doing research on anything from cancer to how to do all kinds of different things with diseases and manipulate them using cell therapy. So it was neat doing that kind of stuff, but just knew I was meant to do something different, and just kept on that attitude. And unfortunately, that attitude also, moved into my life where I wasn't happy with my career at the time. So I kind of made everybody around me a little bit miserable. But, once I found out that, barbecue was the road 3 years ago, and FlameBoss developed that trust in me, knowing that I represented their products out there well and spoke of them very highly in every event that I was at, that they gave me the opportunity to become a salesperson.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I mean,
So-
just go ahead, Jude.
Oh, no, go ahead. Keep going.
No, I was just going to say, just, the journey of barbecue and the opportunities that it brings up for everybody. And it's just me and Jake. I mean, the way we started, hey, dude, you want to go live on Instagram and talk about barbecue? And, here we are a little over a year later with, 3 show sponsors and chatting with some of the greatest people in barbecue.
Yeah, 4. You got to announce that new one.
Yeah,
I haven't announced a new one. I haven't played it out, but
it can be
it's just
time.
But it's just fantastic. I mean, just the way what barbecue has done. I mean, the people that we have met along the way is just awesome.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that it always sounds like someone's just feeding you a bunch of baloney when you're sitting there and you're talking about barbecue and you want to become part of barbecue, and it's a kind of a niche groove to start to kind of find your way in. And if you don't have the passion for it, you're never going to make it. Like it weeds out the people that really are just kind of in it for the cash or, to make a name for themselves, because people can, barbecue people are real people. They can be us coming from a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the way, like when I do caters and things like that, to always get that text from somebody and be like, oh my gosh, your food was so good. I mean, it just puts a smile on your face. That's the passion and drive that keeps me going is the compliments and stuff like that. That's why I enjoy it.
Oh yeah. I tell people all the time that I'm a little bit selfish in what I do, because I love getting that instant gratification from someone telling you how awesome that food is that you just made them.
Absolutely. I mean, you sitting there sweating over that doggone smoker for 10 plus hours, and they're like, yeah, that stuff was bang. And you're like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But
so Dave, what do you cook on, man? I did a lot of digging here and I've seen this on a couple spots. Share screen. You got a ugly drum, but this was almost
a
couple years ago.
You had to find the one with the old Pitmaster IQ on it there.
Look at that.
That was the elephant trunk model. I
remember that one.
The first thing that was the tester. It was super cheap, and I could get that easily and not have to explain anything to the wifey. But then, when you're actually watching your temperatures and everything, just wasn't as dialed in as it should be. And then that's when I learned about the variable speed fans and the multi-speed fans. And it's just, it's eye-opening. You always got to start somewhere. So I never, say don't go buy that product, because the entire product line right now is so strong that once you find that, you're going to go, oh man, I wish I had this little, tiny upgrade or this, and all of a sudden you're out there looking and you find everything you want. And, that's on eBay, and it's making somebody else's first cook a real fun cook for them.
That's right. So what cookers do you have? What are you cooking on, or what did you start with, and what do you have now?
Yeah, so I started off with Black Betty, and she's just a big old offset smoker, and she went through transformations. Like I bought her from someone here in Orlando that kind of knew what they were doing, and didn't know anything about airflow though. And so all of a sudden my firebox is, that's somebody else's. That's that's
I seen black. I said that maybe might be it.
Yeah. No, that was close. That was actually when I was an ambassador over at the Sunny Smoking Showdown.
Okay.
And that was awesome. I did that for the FBA, just to help, out around there. And guess who I get matched up with? Joey Machado and Kendall Air. So I got two guys, and little did we know that 2 years later I'd be working in their field and getting to hang out with them more and more at these events. So it was crazy how we met and how our relationship has built since then. And Joey over Gateway and Blues Hog is just blowing up now. But
I follow a lot of his stories. He's
I cooked on the old offset smoker and used a remote to watch my temperatures go up and down all night and hear the alarms go off. And the ex-wife was not happy about that 90% of the time. And then all of a sudden, I get a bunch of drums that I made myself. And that's the one thing I do like is drums are very customizable. So you can make those yourself and come out with a great product and then throw something like a FlameBoss on it and absolutely throw it over the top. But it's I got 2 drum smokers, an actual trash can smoker, same concept, just made out of a trash can.
Nice.
And then a FlameBoss drum that we also use in our competitions.
Okay.
So, and it's got the FlameBoss garb all over it, the swag hanging off of it. So it's a pretty nice one to have around. And that one was made by my old partner, Kenny, as well, for FlameBoss back when we did some fun work with them.
Is that it?
That's her.
Look at that.
What's funny is I was so old school, and you can tell that is nothing but that firebox is nothing but a propane tank. And you talk about lack of airflow going through that fire.
I know it goes kind of has to go up and then over and then up again. That's
classic.
Yeah, it was bad. And so I took it out to a guy in Lake Wales here in Imperial Polk County, and he worked on Grove equipment and all kinds of really cool stuff. And he goes, "All right, what do you want me to do?" And I told him exactly what I want him to do. And I fed him barbecue in the past, so he was a friend of the family. And literally showed up with 2 racks of ribs and some sauce, and that paid for probably about $400 worth of work.
Nice.
They turned it into a reverse flow smoker. They made a nice plate in there for me. They turned that little firebox into a I think it was a 36 by 48 inch firebox. So it was just amazing. When you got that airflow, you don't need to feed your fire like crazy or stuff it full of wood. So it was
absolutely
amazing. And then that was the cool thing too, is during this whole process of being, becoming a pit master and all that fun stuff. My dad and my grandfather were always firefighters. So knowing airflow and fire control and dampers and everything else came naturally. I just didn't know it until I got into this field.
Yeah. Huh.
So it's pretty cool. But yeah, that was her, and she was an awesome smoker, and man, I could do a ton of food on that catering and all that kinds of fun stuff, and just became too hard to move around. I decided to get a trailer for that instead of having a garden trailer that was just running around that big old smoker, and get some air conditioning and just keep on upgrading like everybody around me.
I hear you. It's taking up same with the times.
Yeah.
So you said you did barbecue sauce, and I came across the picture. I mean, it looks like you had what, 7 different varieties?
I had like 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy because everybody's got those friends that, oh, that's a great sauce, but or somebody's from a different area.
That's a lot.
There you go. Yeah. Different ones, and I think that was part of an order, so I just threw a couple extra ones on top that they were getting.
Okay, yeah, there's the 2 right there. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I started off, since it's Crooked Lake Smokehouse, and that's the source of like 99% of my inspiration in life is a lake house that my grandparents bought when, before I was born, actually. And it was a little 1-bedroom, 1-bath lake house, all block. And my dad's was a subcontractor as well as a fireman over in Sarasota, and gave it the once over and goes, "Oh yeah, we can go up with this thing." So because of all the block around the garage and everything else, we went up, and all of a sudden we got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath on top of the 1-bedroom, 1-bath. And we've gone up since then again and wider. And, it's kind of like The Jerk, where he goes, "And I bought him a bigger house," and it's just literally the same house but bigger. That's almost how we are. So it's pretty funny,
Do you still go to the lake house? I mean,
yep, still go to the lake house all the time. Yep.
I was going to say, 'cause a lot of your pictures are okay.
So it has to go down from generation to generation, and you have to put in what you take out, basically, so the next generation can keep up the house. And
that's awesome.
It's pretty awesome. We've actually added to it, a mother-in-law suite type of thing. So if any of the older family, gets in that age where they can't take care of themselves, our younger family normally steps right in and takes care of them.
Nice. Yeah, my mother-in-law had that. All the daughters, they had a house in Mattapoisett, Massachusetts, right on Buzzards Bay. They actually just sold it because all the daughters didn't want it no more. But
Nah.
we went down there. My wife and I went down a couple times, and I mean, no cable TV, no AC. I mean, it was your straight
Rustic.
just cottage life, and it was go to the beach, hang out. My wife, all she wants to do is go there and eat lobster rolls and all that kind of stuff. But it was good. We'd go for 3-4 days and then come back. But yeah, it was always cool.
Oh yeah, no. In fact, when it was the 1 bedroom, 1 bath originally, we all slept on the back porch. We had fans that were on the back porch, and it was a long enough back porch where we just threw out, some good sleeping bags and stayed cool enough for what you'd think is cool in Florida. It's still in the 70s, and humid, but
it's hot here this week. It's like 90 something here. Holy cow!
And that's back when like 9 people shared 1 bathroom. I mean, we're so spoiled these days. It's crazy.
Oh, I hear you. Holy cow.
And the outside shower was used 24/7. So
yep. They did put an outdoor shower at the cottage there because, like I said, there's only 1 bathroom. So I was like, I'll be in the out one. I ain't scared.
Oh yeah. And it's nice and ice cold too. So after a good sunburn, you get
the
water, you're feeling real good.
Absolutely.
Yep. But that was my source of inspiration. And the sauces came up with names to kind of go with lake features. So I did my first sauce was Shoreline Sweet, since Crooked Lake, and then Sunburn Heat because it had just a little tingle on the back end, kind of like a and then Bonfire Blaze, which was made out of Arbol chili peppers, and I used a little bit of fake smoke in that one, or liquid smoke, I guess, and it gave it a little bit different flavor because Arbol chili peppers from Mexico were nice and smoky as well. So that went well, and then I got Motorboat and mustard sauce, where I always tell people, because I kind of get a grin on their face, I'm like, take it how you want to. You're either motorboating or you're motorboating. So, and that's a nice Florida mustard sauce. It's not the traditional just mustard, vinegar, chili peppers. It's got some brown sugar in there. It's got some different seasonings that are more Florida based. And then I had my Ghost on the Water sauce. And that was a ghost pepper sauce that I didn't take to the edge like most people do. I wanted everybody to enjoy that Joe Boot flavor. So it's an awesome flavor if you can tame it.
Absolutely, man. They sound delicious.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and hopefully one day that stuff will come out. And I know FlameBoss, when we get all fired up every once in a while, is like sitting there, Dave, FlameBoss sauce maybe one day, or something like that. So it's always fun to sit there and kick it around. And those guys support me so much. It's ridiculous. To work for a company, first of all, where you love the product, and then all the staff members are just so awesome. If there's an issue, we sit there and talk it out quickly. It's just amazing. So it's just a great place to work for. When everybody's got the passion and every little cog sees what they are as part of the goal.
Absolutely. Now, is FlameBoss based out of Florida?
Yeah, we're based out of Orlando, Florida. We first opened up in Apopka almost 8 years ago now, and have been going crazy ever since. Before that, we were literally out of Michael and Roger's garage. So
wow,
pretty neat. Yeah.
Wow,
that's awesome.
I found
say that Disney story of we started off in the garage.
Yeah, and in Orlando. I found the trash can.
Look at that.
Boy, you did do some digging.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the TC 410. We just made up some crazy numbers for it because everybody does. I think it was because that model of the Pit Master IQ's a 1010 or something like that. Everything that I used to make that trash can was off of an old Brinkman electric smoker that I found on the side of the road.
Wow.
The 2 dampers and cleaned them up. The inside grates were awesome. So I just literally stripped it down, and to test it all out, I used a vegetable cooker for your grill, like the netting almost, and turned that into a charcoal basket.
Wow.
And it all worked flawlessly except for, a little bit of this, but compared to what was going on the stick burner, it was pretty awesome. And then actually when a FlameBoss was running that, I've gotten 5th place ribs in a pro competition. So it was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Fifth place ribs on a trash can. I can't cook them on a freaking couple $1,000 smoker.
Well, that's what I tell you. There's some neat competitions down in Australia that I've heard from some of our teams down there. And there's one competition where they give you take numbers or whatever, and you get the best smoker. But if you get the best smoker, you get the worst quality of meat. And then it's vice versa. If you get the worst smoker, you get the best quality of meat. And you want to talk about putting everything right on the edge there.
Wow. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that'd be a neat thing to do. Mm-hmm.
Huh. That'd be pretty
Really
cool.
test those skills, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, choice brisket go walking by a Wagyu.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
or vice versa,
That's cool.
It's like, okay, I get a A9 from the butcher shop, but I get a trash can. Dave's like, yes.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yep. Bring the can.
Bring the trash can.
Yep, let's go.
So you got into competitions because of your barbecue sauce. Now, like, were you always into barbecue? Like, always into making up sauce? Like, what kind of started the sauce addiction?
The sauce addiction was started getting decent around the house and just started. I guess I have a decent palate, and I started tasting all the chemicals and all the different sauces. Like, there's probably 3 or 4 major sauces that are out there that everybody loves, that as soon as I taste it, I can tell you what sauce it is. And I mean, a lot of us can do that, but there's certain ones that just, I mean, the fake smoke type of stuff. And I feel like the food should be adding the smoke, not a sauce. And that's just preference. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the sauce is, just like the rub, it's just adding to the meat. It's not trying to take over the meat. So my sauces were all a little bit thinner too. They were literally competition ready. If you poured them out of the jar and warmed them up, you didn't have to add anything to it to change the viscosity of it.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your first competition, that was what, 2013, you said?
Yep, exactly. We did Mulberry down in South Lakeland, and didn't do too very well. But that was also literally, so you ready for this one? My first competition, first brisket I ever cooked.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my buddy Eric from back in the day. He's a buddy from college. And
man, I'll tell you what.
And there you are, running your first brisket.
2013, that team behind you, Sweet Smoke you, man, and all those Florida teams down there, that's like prime Pitmasters time, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. When those guys were going off, it was awesome too, because like Jim was very, very welcoming. He kind of took me under his arm. I haven't taken his class or anything like that, but he shared little pieces of information here and there. And he was just awesome. All those guys are pretty much awesome. I mean, if you ask them a question, and I got lucky enough to be around when, oh God, of course I'm going to forget their name right now because they haven't been out in forever. Oh, well, so there's some older teams that have retired though, that were just, awesome. And all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're finishing your chicken and they're taking a bite of your lousy chicken and they go, if I bring my grinder over here and you grind that rub right there up a little bit and give it a little dust, watch what happens. And all of a sudden, it happens. It's so neat to have that experience. And the funny thing is our first call was in Kissimmee. And the ribs that I turned in, I thought were a little tight. I literally threw the rib across the tent and the entire family and friends just went, they just left. They knew that I was not happy with those ribs. And then we ended up having a tornado come across the lake that was right next to us. And everybody that had a Weber smoker or anything of that size, literally ashes and everything went flying. Tents were going flying. And I was lucky enough to be close to home, throw my stuff all in the truck, take it back, come back in time for awards. Awards happened early, and I missed my first call.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, we're walking by some of the pro teams, and they're like, Crooked Lake, right? You guys got a call. And we're like, you guys are messing with us. We missed it. We know. And they're like, no, seriously. So we run up there, and sure enough, we got our first call. And then we're looking at each other going, well, do we just skip awards from now on? Because that's when we get calls. So
wow. It
was just one of those fluky things, but it was awesome. Part of barbecue is always adapting too. You always have an issue come up, and that's when you learn that you can trust in your fellow man and get a block of wood if you need it, or an extra, chalk for your tires or something like that. I mean, it's ridiculous how cool barbecue people are. And it's almost gotten a little cliquish in some areas, but then all of a sudden here comes the SCA. And now, it blew all the cliques out because everybody wants to hang out with everybody. I mean, if I could, I'd be going to Arkansas to do some competitions, because it just seems like that's a really cool crowd of people out there that I want to meet.
Absolutely.
I can't
So
agree
not
more.
just my cool buddies over here at the Florida Georgia line. So it's neat how it revitalizes things. It seems like those competitions that were slowly dying out. All of a sudden, you throw an SCA comp in front of it, and they got double the competitors that they had.
Absolutely, for sure.
So
Now, speaking of
it
SCA,
seems like it's perfect.
for sure, they go hand in hand.
Mm.
Speaking of the SCA, you cook on C4s for that, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I cook on a big green egg and a C4, and the only reason I use the egg is to get a reverse sear, and that thing dials it in with the FlameBoss. So it's easy. I set it up literally in the morning, set my temperatures, and I know when I come back 3-4 hours later, it's still going to be right there, ready to go.
So you do a reverse sear for your SCA?
Mm-hmm. Yep, sure do.
Interesting.
And I've been playing around with just a normal sear as well, and a pan sear, and that seems to be a little bit of a hot ticket right now as well. So I'm going back and forth, but I got a competition this weekend in North Florida, and I'll probably be going with my grill marks. So I just, you eat with your eyes, and it just always looks so pretty when you get that perfect grill mark and that nice coloring of the steak where it's just got maybe a little tint of red to it or a little mahogany to it.
Oh yeah.
It's it's all in the judges. I know when I'm a judge though, that's part of it. That's part of the experience is that first peek.
So you're one of those people that will load this up to go to an SCA?
Nope.
Okay. I was about to say, man, if you're loading that up and bringing the entire kitchen sink.
Yeah. No, if I did, that's all I would need. Then I'd put the C4 right on it because it's perfect for it. But no, that's the one around the office, unfortunately. That's not mine. I have a little mini Max and a nice Nest, so I keep everything up around my chest area so I don't have to sit there and constantly bend over for my steaks.
Right. Now, speaking of a mini Max with a Nest area, Dave, what the heck is this?
Oh, yeah, our pig heads. Yeah, so we were famous for that 2020 at our egg fests. We would go around to Big Green Egg Fests, and if you haven't gone to one of those ever, you need to go. It's really cool event. What it is, it's a bunch of backyard cooks, and there's some pro cooks on some sides of them, and they use Big Green Eggs for basically appetizers, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. And you pay a small fee and you go in there and they will feed you. It's just amazing. You can get anything from, bacon wrapped meatballs to some of those people get crazy and get gastro on it. And all of a sudden you're eating an upside down cake with little balls of pineapple juice that are in your mouth. And it's over the top.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and you were talking about revitalizing or re-energizing your love for food right there. I mean, because you're not just barbecuing, you're not just grilling, but you're seeing what a grill or a barbecue can do. Because anything that egg can do, your smoker can do. So if you're at 350 degrees on your smoker, you can bake a cheesecake and have an unbelievable smoked cheesecake. So
absolutely,
it's pretty neat. It just opens your eyes to what you might be missing in cooking.
Yeah, I definitely love being revitalized by food, and I love cooking whole pigs, but that's just a little too much for me, man.
Yeah. Well, see, that's in the very beginning, unfortunately. So by the time that thing cooks down and that apple just sits there and sweats, and unfortunately, I know it's for some people, but those cherries that we put in the eyes, all that, that's getting close to being done right there. It's just that mahogany. You can break off the ear and eat it like a nice crackling. We normally try to gross out somebody and go right in for the jowl meat and pull it out. And half the people don't even freak out anymore. These people are so educated on where the good meat is that they see that ready for it.
No, it's definitely good. It just looks freaky. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, there I am. Yeah, that big old pig ear. and it's neat. I mean, when you have 20 people around a table sitting there just pigging, pigging out on a pig head, and it's pre-COVID. That was nothing during COVID, so nobody that. But it was just neat. The kids are even getting a kick out of it, and then to see everybody realize that apple and the cherry, that juice just comes down and sweetens up that jowl meat so much that it's almost like a little delicacy because of how great that meat turns out and the flavor profile.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely something I'll have to try for sure.
That one's Wilbur. So we actually had a little girl named that one at one of the egg fests, and it was neat. We actually had a raffle, and if you won the raffle for the FlameBoss product we raffled, you got that pig head with it, whether you wanted it or not.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool. And there were people asking for it before that, so we knew that would be a nice little kick in. It was up in North Florida, so it's cool. But we're trying to make our way around the country more. Now that everything's opening up a little bit more, we got people up in Northeast area with Humphrey Smokers, and then of course down here in Georgia with Stumps, and we're trying to get in there and run over to Mississippi and Missouri and visit Mark Lambert and all them, and we're trying to figure out something to do maybe on our way to the Royal this year. So that would be really cool to figure out a couple of retailers to stop by and do some cool demos for people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I can't wait for our road to the Royal, Jake.
I know, me, you, and Uncle Urkel.
It was cool. We were just talking about all that today in our sales meeting, and I got excited when you guys started talking about it. I almost wore my Royal shirt from 2 years ago.
So now, will you guys host a party there for the Royal, or like have to host a big event there with it, or you guys just go up there, show up, and support your teams?
That's exactly it. We show up there, we support the teams, we make sure they have everything they need. It's nice too because 90% of it, not 90% of it, but 90% of the time, it's international. So to see our Canadian teams, we get to see our European teams. It's just amazing.
Yeah. I'm very excited for the Royal, man.
And I think we'll probably be hanging out. I'm not sure, but I think Cotton Gin Smokers said something about maybe doing the Royal this year. So if they're doing it, we'll definitely be hanging around those guys.
Nice. Yeah, make sure you stop by, check us out for sure.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And that's the cool thing. Like, it was only 2 years ago that I got to meet the owner of Cotton Gin's, Matt, face to face at the Royal, and then within probably 30 to 45 minutes of him meeting me, I got to introduce him to the Shed Group and all that, and just to see the family explode and just keep on getting bigger and bigger is just such a neat thing.
Yeah.
And you really see that at these events.
They got nice smokers. I like them Cotton Gin drums.
Oh yeah, they're slick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very cool. Very cool.
I'd love to be able to demonstrate one, Matt. That wasn't obvious, was it?
Yeah. Get something in your eye?
Oh man. So what's new on the horizon for FlameBoss, man? Any special things coming out? Is there going to be a sauce coming out at all?
No sauce, unfortunately. Not right now, but that could be something down the road eventually. But we just got some really cool stuff. Unfortunately, I can't talk about because it's just game changing. It's stuff that isn't out on the market right now, and I don't even want to give these people an idea. Awesome. So I want to see that nuclear explosion when we come out with it. It's going to be so cool. It's one of those types of products where you're just excited. Like I can't wait because I know how barbecue guys are, and when I kept on looking at different parts of this product and asking questions, it was all the right answers that I was getting back. So it was just so cool. So yeah, but probably 2022, early mid. Hopefully we'll be talking about it, and you guys will be going, holy cow! How do we live without this product?
Come on, 2022.
I love those products.
It's crazy when you're talking to all of your friends and technology type accessories and things, and you're all looking at each other going, don't you wish you could just hit the fast forward button 3 years just to see where we're all going to be at, because so much has gone crazy over the last 10.
Oh yeah. I mean,
like technology's doubling every year. So
oh yeah,
it's pretty neat.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely, man.
and then the
So
OEM
when
projects that we possibly have. I mean, it's people know FlameBoss's quality now.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I love it so far. It's been great to me. It's been great.
Thanks.
So with you being Crooked Lake to the transition to FlameBoss, I mean, so now you are Team
FlameBoss, all engulfed. Yep.
That's good though.
Yes, it is. And the thing that kind of brought that on was at the World State Championships, you're signed up as your name. You're not signed up as a team name or anything like that. But everybody always knew me as Crooked Lake. So it was always, I brought the Crooked Lake gear up and I brought the FlameBoss gear up. And every morning I got up in the hotel, I was torn on what I was going to put on. I'm like, do I represent Crooked Lake, who, a company that I basically threw out of business a couple of years ago now because I'm all invested in FlameBoss, or do I move on and do the bigger name and the better thing? And, how would they feel about it? Do they want me to be the representative of their company in the pitmaster world? And it was awesome because it was another fluid conversation. It was one of those things where, guys, I was a little confused. They're like, well, no more confusion. We're all about it. Your team FlameBoss and you're all in. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, like I said, that kind of support doesn't always come from companies. So to have that kind of support, and I'm no big name. I'm not Mo or Tuffy or anybody like that. But for them to feel like one day I could be that is just amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's a lot of it. I mean, it's the passion you have for barbecue. I mean, the people I've met along my 5 years in barbecue was just extraordinaire. I mean, to be team mixing with Meyer Mixon. I'm just from New Jersey. I just want to cook barbecue. I love everything about barbecue. It's been my passion for 10 years now, and just to get a phone call to be on the team, it's just like
it's crazy. No, I get it completely. Yeah,
words don't explain how honored I am to be part of some of these names that I partner with and that sponsor me for barbecue. It's just.
And one of the neatest things is when you announce that, like the overflow of love that comes to you from everybody and how proud they are of you and what you do. And, it's like, it puts a little stamp of approval on you. So, it's pretty neat.
You feel like, wow, I'm doing this. This is for real,
Mm-hmm.
Especially when your mom calls you up and she goes around and tells all her friends. She's like, here's the picture of the guy that we're talking about. You ever seen him? It's funny. It's just awesome. I mean,
for the first time, I had that moment with my aunt. We were all sitting out on the lake having a great time, and I was cooking ribs, and she posts all these pictures, and she's like, this weekend of fun with the kids and dad and everything are brought to you by FlameBoss, because Dave didn't have to go up and run and check on his ribs every 10 minutes. So it was pretty awesome. Cool, to see that when everybody in your family's with you and that you got that kind of support, and obviously they're from Texas. So when they moved to Florida and I was competition barbecue, my uncle and aunt were just all in. They're like, so can you cook a Texas brisket, and can you cook some good ribs? And they've gotten better and better every year. So they're happier and happier every year.
My dad's been with me from the start. When I started barbecue, my teammate dropped out a week before my first competition.
Oh.
And, it was rough.
Yeah.
So Dad stepped in as, I'll be there with my son. And for him to watch me over the years progress, and it's just, he went home to my mom just the last competition we did, and he's like, wow, you talk about a change,
It's that Michael Fay class.
Exactly. I mean, it's just the passion he sees from my first boxes I made to the box we just made last. We finished 10th out of 47 teams and a 7th in ribs, and I mean, it was just like he's like,
that's awesome.
Wow, like it's just good. Pops is there, but he's good for cleaning the dishes and running my boxes.
Oh yeah, and my dad, he's straight up and down with me too. Like when he eats my ribs, if he tells me it's a good rib, I know I'm getting a call. If he tells me that he's had better from me, I know I'm not getting a call.
That's good. I tell Dad,
they're straight shooters.
Don't tell me it's good when you know it's not. I want to know. I need to know.
That's exactly it. You got to be real with me.
Because I tried. I'm like, I'm too critical of myself sometimes. I'll be honest with you. I hated my ribs at that last competition. Hated it. I was like, Dad, that's the worst box there. I did not like the ribs. I threw 6 ribs in there. Jake even said it. Why'd you throw 6 in there, not 8? I'm like, Jake. I said, out of 4 racks, I said there were 6 that were like okay to me.
Yeah. You didn't want to give them 2 more to grab that you didn't think were okay.
Exactly. I mean, that's what it came down to. And then, like I said, I'm chasing ribs. It was just, you know how it is. It's the least box you hate the most is the one you get to call on.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
That's why everybody asks me now, how's your boxes? They all sucked.
Yeah.
That's what I do now.
That's right.
They're horrible.
Boomerang effect. That's
Yep. But yeah, it's just funny.
Yep, it is. It's a lot of fun.
Gone. Absolutely. I haven't talked hardly at all. I feel. Is this how you feel, Dave?
Yeah. You see, I finally, for once, hey, everybody who's listening, you see that I stumped Jake for the first time in a year.
No, I told you guys I was a talker. So when you
it's been fantastic. I mean, like I said, we wanted to bring you on, tell your side of the journey.
Yeah, and something really, really cool that I just got, I guess, that everybody got in the last couple of days. I just haven't checked my private email. If you were part of the World State Championship for the SCA, you are a qualifier now in the World Food Championship for steak.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're going to have an SCA comp, it looks like, on a Friday. And then on the following Saturday, they're going to take the best 10 and do an actual World Food Championship judging.
That's awesome. So you're in.
That looks really, really cool. And it's funny because we just brought that up today too. Do you think we should go and hang out at the World Food Championships or get a booth? And I was like, oh, we need to walk around and market. And now they're probably going to be real happy I said that because they can hang out at my spot.
That's awesome.
That's right.
Congrats on that. That's killer.
Yeah, thanks. Man. Appreciate that. So I couldn't believe that. I was like, oh, yeah, that's one more thing I could add to a little quiet spot here.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like that's crazy, man. You get to go around and just talk barbecue all day long. I'm rather jealous of you.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, super, super blessed. Like when I'm talking to anybody at work, especially, they ask how I am. I'm like, I'm on the right side of the grass. Like there's nothing that can go wrong if you wake up,
Yeah. I mean,
it's barbecue life. And to be able to live the passion and, to hang out with you guys. I mean, we haven't even met face to face, but I feel like we've been hanging out for months now.
Exactly.
I can't wait for the Royal. We're gonna have a blast.
True. My gosh, I'm counting down the days now.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to watch your march to the Royal. So
we'll do something.
Yeah. Oh no, you got to now. You mentioned it.
I know.
We're bringing the GoPros. We're bringing the doggone drones. Yeah. It's going to be like 4th of July on the way there.
Absolutely. I'll make sure to bring my ring for you, so we'll have one extra.
Yes, I'm ready. I am super stoked. I mean, I'm super stoked over any competition, but this one here, my gosh, 20-hour ride, I'll be like, I don't care.
Oh yeah, I only knew one person that actually lived in Shawnee, and it was a friend of mine's mom. Super, super nice lady. And she let me stay there, and literally she's like, oh, I have a little party, some friends that are at the Royal, so I'll be able to hang out with you a little bit, and we'll go hang out here. I went to this party with her. Holy smokes. Like, it was an 80s band. They were probably 150 deep underneath the tent. Everyone's sweating, and I mean, just barbecue going all over the place. And now they're one of my friends that's around that area. They're called the Big Wigs. And the whole time they're cooking, they wear these huge 80s rocker band wigs.
Jake would be lost in the 80s. You don't know.
Oh, dude, it was so much fun. But,
dude, I'm a 97 boy, so I was lost in the 90s.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. So it was just so much fun. No matter where you're at in barbecue, you're always going to bump into somebody that wants to talk or has a question or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I get messages all the time on Facebook, just people asking questions and stuff like that. I mean, even when I got to go to Tennessee with a friend of mine, Zach, and to go talk barbecue in front of 20, 30 different people and stuff like that. I mean, come on. 10 years ago, did I ever think I'd be sitting at a stool talking barbecue to people and how to cook and things like that? No, not in a million years. But it was awesome.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing, and it's funny you say the glasses thing. I think it would be really neat to team up with like one of the local breweries here in my area and do like a 2-hour class. And, you get to try all these different beer pairings with all kinds of different sauces and rubs and
Yes.
meat profiles. I think that'd be just amazing.
And there's a lot of people out there that have passion. Like even, you're just regular person, your husband and wife that just want to dabble in barbecue, but sometimes are intimidated by, what it is and what to use and things like that. That's a lot of his class pertains on that. He goes over, different kinds of smokers and woods and charcoal and lump and things like that, and kind of just gives a big overlay of what everything's about, to make people feel more comfortable about it. And
oh yeah, the more you explain to people and the more they can understand, the better.
Oh yeah, I mean they feel more comfortable with it. I mean, and sometimes for men, we're all men. Sometimes it's just like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
And, men are that.
And then you put a different chunk of charcoal in your hand, and you're like, wow, this is different than the one I use.
Exactly, and they say women are more outgoing than men, and you get a bunch of men in a group and everything. Some just don't want to talk, and everybody's different. So that's where he really pertains to class 2. Men of the class to kind of get them out of their comfort zone with cooking.
Exactly. And then that's where the beer comes in.
Exactly. Interesting class.
Yeah, right. By the end, I'm sure it would be.
Absolutely. So.
All
right. Well, I'm out of stuff, man. I don't know what to say.
I don't know about any more of my history I can get into.
Nah, that's good.
Daggone, man. Dave, thank you, man, so much for the thermometers, man. I can't wait to rock them and take them for a ride here. And I know Dave will probably bring his to York, and I'll probably bring mine along too, just so we have an extra. And we appreciate
never
it,
bad
man.
to have an extra. You never know.
Absolutely.
If you need 8 meat probes, there you go.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. 2 for each money muscle.
Yeah, exactly. You can never flex too much muscle. Just have them sitting around and be like, yeah, it's all part of my collection, I actually saw somebody put that on their post the other day. They have a collection of controllers from all different companies, and they have the most of ours. So
wow.
Pretty neat, yeah, to hear those kind of things and see
That's
that.
good to see.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
Yep.
So,
Lots
Dave.
fun. But I appreciate the time, guys.
No, we
absolutely,
appreciate you
man.
coming back on.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. So, that being said, Dave, we said Shazam, Dave. We said we're not going to do one next week, but we'll be back the following week after that.
Yes.
And I won't be on, so you can see somebody new.
We'll have someone in 2 weeks new.
So
hopefully you're watching now.
So, all right, y'all. Thank you all so much for watching. We will see you all here in a couple weeks.